It has always struck me that the most important intervention that a state or a government can make is being able to give a citizen roots. And a citizen gets roots when they have a stake in the country in which they live. And there is no greater stake in a country than to own a piece of the rock and to develop what, Mr. Chairman, you appropriately contextualized for us at the beginning of this morning's ceremony, to develop a home.
Can you imagine being able to buy a 2-bedroom wall house and land today for less than $800 per month? Or owning a 3-bedroom house and land for about $1,000 monthly? Well, you'd better believe it. Because today, that is both hope and reality, all at the same time.
Good Friday, Sunday 4th of April, Easter bank holiday, and Sunday 11th of April, we will once more have the partial shutdown. And therefore, only certain specified businesses are going to be allowed to open. Bakeries can open if they wish for the baking of bread, but they will not be allowed to sell bread during those days. So no bread vans, no bread depots can be open. Farms, of course, must be allowed to operate. Cleaning services that clean for essential services, they can operate. Fuel manufacturers, gas stations, hotels and so on, they can all operate. So the same businesses that were allowed to open last Sunday are those which are going to be allowed to open on this Sunday, tomorrow, Good Friday, Sunday 4th of April, Easter Monday, and Sunday 11th of April.
We will have the vigilance of our COVID monitoring unit on the ground. We will have the island constables on the ground to make sure that our students are wearing the masks. And we will do what we have to do to ensure that we protect all and sundry across this country. But what we cannot do is lose any more instructional time in the classroom and to continue to see the increase in the rise in a number of the mental health issues that are confronting our students and confronting our teachers. The time is now, and I hope that I have the support of all of the stakeholders to be able to make this exercise work. It is not about asking me why, why no? I think most of you now have to be asking the question, tell me why it can't be no. Because there is no better time for us to do it. Our cases are down, and I hope that those cases continue to be down.
A loss of almost $2 billion in economic activity as a result of COVID and all that COVID has brought to us. We know it instinctively. We've felt it every month. We know the loss of jobs that we've seen in the country. We know that over 38,000 individuals applied for unemployment benefit last year at the height of it. We know that last month in February, the numbers are in excess of 11,000 who have applied as well again. And we recognize that what has happened has been a major, major disruption of significant proportion.
It is the very minimum income below which people simply cannot survive. So defined in that way, sir, this is exactly the right time in the context of COVID-19, when far too many people are struggling, to look at the question of a minimum wage. It is precisely the right time. I don't know when could be a better time.
In the northern sector of the country, one is supposed to go in St. Lucie at Colleton, the other one is supposed to go at Malusi. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, plans are in train for a major mains replacement in the northern sector of the country, because we understand that those mains were in place in some cases for more than 50, 60 years. So as a result of that, we have a situation where the mains are now pushing out brown water. And the fact that every day or every week we can see a burst in the constituency of St. Peter and St. Lucie, more so, we believe that we need to take care of a major mains replacement in that particular area.
Of course, we've had complaints from farmers over time, not since I came, over time, about predial larceny. And we've looked at the act, We had a meeting last week with CPC, and we've determined that we must add technology. We're going to introduce drones, but not just for predator larceny. Drones so that we can do aerial mapping as well. So that we can determine if there's dumping going on, if there's soil that we need to zoom in on, and then we can show our cultivation program for all of Barbados to see.
At the outset, people were dying from this severe respiratory illness and respiratory distress and this special kind of pneumonia, and they were using ventilators. Small countries like ours tried to get ventilators. There was the issue of supply chains, where particularly where you're trying to get ventilators through a third country, and then you hear that there's an order that those ventilators must not leave this country. And that happened to us. Not only ventilators, you name it, monitors, all of these things became in short supply, and you had to pay for them to get them. We have to utilize a number of persons, use private jets. Our airport remained open throughout the process. A number of our supplies that came into this country, equipment and supplies, came in utilizing private jets. That was one of the reasons why the airports were left open.
I give the commitment that we will continue to look out for workers. We will continue to protect income. We will continue to protect capital, continue to support businesses. But most importantly, we will continue to bring everyone to the table in pursuit of a new tourism industry, a reimagined tourism industry, which includes every element of our society. Because, Mr. President, we don't, as an administration, believe that it can be us versus them. It has to be for all of you. And with these few words, Mr. President, I lend my support to this appropriations bill.